Hello, everybody. Well, this is such a funny thing because every time when I started recording my podcast, I just started laughing uncontrollably. Like, I find it very funny because this is kind of awkward, talking to a fucking camera. Like, it's just not that normal for me to do. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, I vlog, but this is way worse than vlogging. Like, I love vlogging, but sometimes vlogging can get a little awkward, especially when you're in public. But this is worse. Kind of, in a bit. Okay, so, hey guys, welcome back to my podcast, Deep Dive Into My Mind. And I'm Jason, your host. And today we're going to be talking about money. Because I've been wanting to talk about money for like a fucking long time. I don't know if, I don't recall if I have ever talked about money before on this podcast. But I feel like it is a very important topic that we can talk about. But I have my fan on because it's literally so hot. I feel like there's like 10 million fucking heat waves going on right now. So I apologize for the bad audio. If there's bad audio, I don't know. Like, I'm monitoring it. I can't really hear it. So just let me know, you guys, okay? So we're going to be talking about money. This goes way back in my life. Like, just to give you guys some background, like, I grew up growing up, I've always been very humbled. Is it like the way to say it? Because, like, it's very hard to say if I'm humble or just my parents are frugal and they like to educate me in a way where I will feel humbled a lot, because I feel like a lot of Asian parents do this. But I don't know. Honestly, you have to ask my parents about that. And I've never asked them about anything regarding money. Like, I've always asked for money, but I've never asked about money. Never. So today we're going to be talking about it because I feel like it's very important to not educate, but more of like just letting you guys know my view on money, because I feel like everybody's perspective on money is a little bit different, and it differentiates between each household and how they educate their children about like money and like the concept of money and this and that, blah blah blah. So we're gonna get started on my background. So growing up, I grew up in Hong Kong, and then I studied, middle school, high school in England, and now I'm in college in London. Pretty rare, right, for like a Hong Kong guy. So growing up in Hong Kong, I grew up in the suburbs of Hong Kong. It's like a very much like, I will call it the suburbia of Hong Kong, because that is like the closest description I can ever find about my, like childhood home. Like, I still live there, when I'm home, when I'm in Hong Kong, because, you guys, if you guys follow me on, YouTube or like my Instagram, you'll find pictures and videos of, my home in Hong Kong. Is okay. I like it. It's not like massive huge, like there's no apartment in Hong Kong that is massively huge, but it's okay. Like, it's like an average family apartment in Hong Kong, like a very average one, like a classic middle class apartment in Hong Kong. So okay, so I need to go a little bit more in depth, because I feel like not a lot of people know the situation about Hong Kong. Everybody in Hong Kong has an apartment. Nobody lives in a house. You only have a house under two circumstances. Either you're in a house because you inherited the house. When I'm talking about house, I'm not talking about like mansions or anything luxury, just like a normal house, like a 70 square meter house, like 700 square feet house, like 3 floors or like 2, I don't know, in the countryside, like, far from the city center and all that. And there's the second type of house. This is under the circumstances that you're ultra rich and you live in a fucking house, like a real house, like one of those Los Angeles mansions, like one of those like, I mean on the outside in Hong Kong, like on the outside it will look like one of those like Los Angeles $5 million house, but they actually worth like $20 million in US dollars, by the way. Fucking insane. Like the house prices in Hong Kong is like fucking insane. Even an apartment is like Jesus fucking Christ. Like it's like what? It's like 10,000 US dollars for like a fucking bathroom. Not a bathroom, not the fucking bathroom, just the fucking toilet, like just the thing. That's how fucking crazy it is. Is every square meter, every square feet, it's like $2,000. So every square meter is roughly 20K average in Hong Kong. So it's bad. It's really bad, and it's really unaffordable, like for housing. So there are a lot of like, council houses. There are a lot of like government housing, and a lot of people rely on that. So I don't know how to talk about this. Like I shouldn't really get into like all the shit about Hong Kong, but you can Google it up. I'm not about here to explain the housing situation in Hong Kong, but I'm talking about money today. So in Hong Kong, nobody does not live in a fucking apartment. Every apartment is you guys call it, Western people call it skyscraper because they're all tall, including myself. I do live in a 50-story tall building. Well, I'm not on the 50th floor, but I live in one of those buildings, and you guys call it the skyscraper. It's not that tall, to be honest, compared to like the tallest, but you know what I'm saying, like it's tall. So I grew up in an apartment, okay? It's not big. I feel very humbled in that apartment. Like I love it. And I always think of my family as like one of the poor ones in the classroom, okay? So I went to the same school from the age of 3 until the age of 13. And then I went to England. So we went to the same school. Okay, listen. We went to the same school. Listen. And I have a tendency when I was younger to not being like, I don't like being looked down or belittled, because that's usually the case of me, and I don't like that. Like a lot of people, like I just don't know why do people just think of me as something smaller than I actually am, like something less powerful than I actually am, something weaker than I actually am. That's what happened during my like childhood, like most of it. Like everybody trying to humble me for no fucking reason. I wasn't being arrogant. I was just like a normal pathetic kid, and not even fucking pathetic. I'm just saying, like, my parents are very strict, so I don't know, I kind of look sad in a way. But that's just the case. So money to me is a very like weird concept growing up, because I feel like I don't really have no concept about money. I'm talking about current state. I don't know much about money. I do spend a lot of money on like useless shit, aka like my shoes, clothes, accessories, and like my AirPods and stuff. They're all like technologies. They're all fucking stupid. And I mean, obviously water, because like the tap water here is like seriously fucking undrinkable, and I don't know how people fucking handle this. So let's break it down for you. So I went to the same school. Okay, back to that topic, because I've driven off topic so many times. Back to the topic of when I was growing up. So never have I ever really had like a lot of like pocket money for like lunches and stuff, because like my parents will either so in like, I think elementary school, like middle school, I think it's middle school. So there's two options for lunch, right? So either your parents pack a lunchbox for you, or you order through the school, or your parents give you like lunch money to go get lunch by yourself. That's cool. So basically all the cool kids all the cool kids have their own fucking lunch money to get lunch on their own. However, I'm not one of those. When I was in middle school, like I was the ones who ordered the disgusting school lunch boxes. I'm saying the disgusting ass, dry ass, just disgusting vegetables with soy sauce, rice, and like some cheesy ass meat. I don't know. To be fair, I don't really fucking remember. Like, after I escaped that hellhole, I just don't fucking remember anything. But like, I wasn't cool at all. So I've always wanted to, like, and whenever I have like a conversation with people, like, people always think of me like weaker, lesser than, who I am or what I have. So I always wanted to prove something to people, and that's actually very bad. But that is what I did when I was, young. And I'm not very, like, I I regret that period of time. It's so fucking embarrassing. Like, I don't even want to mention the shit that I've ever done. But I've always well, I've never tried to present myself as like richer than I am, but I've always trying to I always trying to be more, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I really don't know. Like, I wouldn't say like I've always trying to act like I'm better than people, but okay, what? Let's drop this topic. Okay, this is getting too deep for me. But in terms of money, I never had pocket money. Okay, back to money. Never had pocket money. So I would do stupid shit. Like, I would do shit for money. Okay, this is getting weird, but no, I promise it's not. So I have this very cute pencil case, not pencil case, like literally stationery case, stationery bag. Okay, everything you have is a show off. Like, everything you have in middle school is like a proof of like what you have, who you are, how wealthy you are, how rich are your parents, like blah blah blah, and also where you live as well, and how big is your house, like whatever. I didn't realize that, but that was that back in the days. And I had this like really cool stationery bag from Muji. If you guys know Muji, you know Muji. If you don't, get lost, please. So I have I have this Muji stationery bag. I fucking love it. And I have this really cute stationeries. Like, I have cute pencils, cute pens, cute, rubbers, cute erasers, and okay, etc. Like, all that shit, right? So I would be so stupid, but no, okay, I was stupid, but I was smart in a way. Like, I was stupid at the same time, but I'm also smart at the same time. Okay, hear me out. So I would sell them for money. I would sell my stationeries for money. Okay, my parents don't know about this, so okay, nobody tell my parents, but my parents do not know about this, okay? So here's the thing. I would sell my pens. I would sell pencils. I would sell my erasers. So just for money, just so I can be the cool kids to go queue up in the canteen, like the cafeteria, to buy food. To buy food. Or I can be cool and, go walk out of my school, walk across the school, and then go over to that fancy bougie ass Japanese restaurant to eat lunch, to eat like what, $40 sushi. No, not sushi. What is it? Curry rice. Curry with rice is so good, by the way. Like, I've eaten like a few times, but literally so good. Trust me, it's so fucking good. It's just like the best food ever, like back then. But after I left the school, I've never been back to that area even. Like, I just don't like going to that area. It's just traumatizing for me. But too many like bad memories just pop up in my mind, like, PTSD, all that, like, flashes back to like old days. And whenever the fuck I see uniforms of my old school walking around, like, I will literally fucking freak the fuck out. Like, I'll act like somebody I know just like fucking catch me off guard, and I'm like, oh, okay, get the fuck out of here. Whatever. Okay, so that's the extent that I would do for money, and it's just bad. So it created this very bad concept of money in my mind, and it's just really bad. Like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to get too deep about it because I was still young back then, so everything can be fixed. And now I'm normal, okay? That sounded so bad, by the way, you guys. Okay, so after that thing happened, I went to England. So I went to a boarding school, right? I've talked about this in the previous episodes. Boarding school, what a place. So I didn't have, like, listen. Like, I upgraded from my old school in Hong Kong that I've been going for like 10, 11 years to a private Catholic, not bougie, but expensive boarding school. And I swear to God, the fucking people in there, I tell you, they're like, oh my God, there's farmers, there's kids that are in the army, like their parents are in the army, and there's kids that are rich, there are kids that fly private all day long. Okay, listen, they're all rich, okay? Like, they're all rich. And to be fair, back then I was an asshole. And I'm a jealous hoe. I have a black heart. I really just wasn't that great at like a mental headspace. Like, to be fair, I'm not kind when I was young. Well, I mean deep down I am kind, but it's just I've never found a place to release that kind energy, so I'm not kind when I was younger. You know? So here's the thing. Like, I always felt like everybody was comparing themselves to me, and everybody was like fucking comparing themselves to me. And I feel that so bad that I feel the need to like always prove that I'm like, you know, cool. And I feel the need to prove that I'm rich, but I, like, you know, I wouldn't say that we're poor. I wouldn't say that me and my family are poor, because we're definitely not poor. Like, I'm just thinking about it because, like, the price of the boarding school is actually very fucking expensive per year. It was £44,000. Jesus fucking Christ, £44. I would go. Everybody would go to that school if it was like fucking £44, you know. But it was 44,000 Great Britain pound. Jesus, is it like $50,000? 50,000 US dollars. Fuck that shit. Man, I don't even know like the calculation for that. Like, I don't even want to try to do that. But yeah, so basically that's it. 44, I've been in that school from year 9, 10, 11, 12. Year 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Year 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 years. It's like 200K, 220, okay? 220,000 pounds. That's like a down payment, right? That's like a 10% down payment of a house. Wow. Okay, so we're not poor, okay? But we're not rich either. Like, we're just very frugal because we're Asians, and like traditionally I feel like we're like okay, we're like middle class. Using Hong Kong's average, okay? Don't even try to come at me for like, you know, the fucking average wages in Pakistan is like $146 per year. No, don't come for me with that. I know there's differences in every country, so nobody come for me for that, okay? Listen, I understand that. That's why I tell you, disclaimer, that I'm using Hong Kong's average scale, that I'm a fucking middle class. So nobody come for me, okay? I'm not even a middle class. I don't work. My parents are. Okay, so here we go. The thing is like I feel poor when I went to boarding school. It wasn't like the best time nor the best mental headspace for me to like, you know, explore or like define what money is to myself. So it was just so bad. Like, I would buy designer shit just to wear them in school. Like, I don't even like them. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I have a pair of Versace's sneakers that I've wore like twice. to be fair, I've wore twice in my entire life, and I don't even know where the fuck are they. I feel like I threw them away. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I honestly haven't touched any of them for like so long. Like, I don't like designer at all. I just realized that. Like, if you ask me, do I have any fucking Gucci, Dior, Louis Vuitton? Like, no, none of that shit. None of that shit. I don't have any of that shit. I feel like it's a total waste of money. I mean, don't quote me, because in the future, if I'm successful, they might want to work with me. So, I mean, I like them. Some of them are nice, not all of them. Like, they have great style. Some of them have like really, really nice bags, really, really nice clothes that I really wanted. Just like particular, like, specific pieces. Not all. Like, I wouldn't fucking, like, wear like a whole body of like Gucci and to go to the gym. Like, what the fuck, right? But anyways, it was just a time that money wasn't that crazy for me. And let me tell you something. I, as a very humble person, I faked it when I was in high school. So it's like, even okay, so what I'm thinking about to say is, even I fake it. So listen, how many other people will fake it? Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, in high school, it's just like, it's okay, it's not that bad. I hope nobody from my high school is actually listening, so, nothing to be embarrassed about. But anyway, okay, moving on. So that is basically like my concept of money up until like high school is still very like minimal. Not that much. I don't know how to do savings. Like, I have like, fuck, I love this burp, but I will have like weekly allowance, but like, I just don't know how to do savings. I spend all my money on like actually stupid shit. I go to the one and only convenience store next to our school. It's not even fucking next to our school. It's 30 minutes on a walk in dirt road. Like, okay, let's not fucking talk on that. Like, I'm gonna start shitting on my school if I talk more. So I went there, and I'll go there every day, and I'll buy myself food because I don't have a friend to eat with in high school. So like, whatever. I'm that kid, okay? If your school has that kid that doesn't talk, it's like AKA shy, quote shy. I'ma just let you know, they might be one of me. They might be me. Like, they might just talk as much as you do, if not even more. And they might just be, more crazier and more normal than you are, bitches. Like, they just don't want to talk to you, okay? Listen, because you guys are lame. Okay, move on. Moving on to college. So I started college in January. I'm not gonna fucking lie, it's a weird time to start college. But I've met a lot of interesting people. I say interesting, not in a good way, okay? So listen the fuck up. Basically, in my college, they're all just fucked up people. Like, they're all just all sorts of fucked up people. Like, I just realized I'm not that fucked up comparing to them. Like, I thought I was the weird one with no friends and like, and like literally like the one that is odd out because I've never felt fit into anywhere. And we're gonna make a whole fucking episode about not fitting in. So listen, this is the thing. They are weirder. They are more pathetic. They are faker than me. Like, I feel so much better after I went to, college, and I just met all these people, and I just feel like they're so fucking pathetic. I hope nobody from my college is watching as well. Please, pretty please don't come for me for this. Like, I literally don't give a fuck. But okay, listen. So I would sometimes sit in the classroom and then like just not sit through the lecture, but what the fuck. I mean, I would just like eavesdrop on like people's conversation because I never wanted to talk to anybody from my class, and they would be they would be telling everybody how much they spent on alcohol in clubs, and like just doing the most outrageous, like ridiculous shit. And every time I in the back of my mind, I'm like, how fucking stupid is that? Like, why the fuck would they be chatting shit about this? Okay, let's take a break now, because my camera, I just realized my camera couldn't film more than like 30 minutes. Okay, hold on, let's take a break now. Okay, I'm back from a break that you probably didn't even fucking notice. I didn't even fucking take a break. I just, press stop recording and then start recording. Fuck, I can't even talk today. Okay, whatever. So in college, like, I would consider myself in a position of college where I'm like, I don't talk that much, but like, I don't lie about things. Like, I don't lie about things for the sake of just showing off or flaunting or flexing about, like, I went to Switzerland and spent $100 on in a club per night. I don't talk about shit like that. Like, I don't talk like that, because I've grown a lot since 2020. I've grown a lot. Like, I've grown into like a more mature person, and I feel like money, I feel like people who talk about money just screams insecurity. And like, sometimes it's like, I feel bad, because sometimes it's like, yeah, they're like, people are rich, but I wouldn't feel myself to be inferior in that situation. I feel like I'm equal to like everybody else. Like, yes, they're rich and they're more connected. They could be more like opportunities for them, but it doesn't matter. Like, we live our lives. If they're just stuck with those shit, like, I mean, okay, let's not talk in a very emotional way. Like, let's just logically talk about this, because I feel like this is a better way to like explain this situation to you. So I went to college with all these kids. They're actually not kids anymore. They're like, some of them are like 5 years older than I am. Like, I'm young. I'm still young. I'm still 19, okay? Go cry about it if you're older than I am. But like, for the fucking record, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty fucking sure that, like, I've never flaunted anything. Like, I've never flexed about anything. Like, even though I have like exciting things or like expensive things, like, I'll never flaunt about them. Like, I'll never flex about them. Like, I don't know what's the deal with people. Like, okay, we need to stop this ranting shit. Okay, let's get back on the professional side of this. So I understand how people see money as a very like untouchable thing. Like, people that has money, they feel like, I used to think that they're so untouchable, and they're so like, they're so far from me, because the thing is like, you would feel like they're so much better off than you are when you are not as wealthy. No, I wouldn't use the word wealthy, because I don't feel like wealthy and like having a lot of numbers in your bank account is like related. They're not correlated at any point. So I'm gonna make a whole episode about that as well. But yeah, let's just talk about this. So, like, I understand how people feel when they are around people that are having more money than they are. Like, okay, let's say me, and there's this classmate called, let's call them like Tom. Okay, let's say I have a fucking classmate called Tom. Okay, Tom's dad is a fucking millionaire, and his dad probably has like clubs and yachts and stuff, like a millionaire. Like, let's say his net worth is like $20 million. Okay, and they're like rich, and I am a middle class. My dad's, no, this is just for example, okay? Like, this is not real. None of this is real. So my dad's net worth is probably like $2 million. Like, we have like just like one house is like $2 million, and like, we're done. And like, that's it for us. Like, our whole family depends on the house. Okay, like, that's it, right? So it's 10 times difference, right? So our family's 10 times difference, like, in terms of net worth. So some people in this situation, aka some people like me, will feel inferior to Tom, for example, like to Tom, and will feel like certain types of pressure hanging around Tom and feel uncomfortable because Tom has access to more funds, more resources than I could ever have. Like Tom goes to this club or this membership club for like $20,000 a year. That's okay for him. But that's not okay for me. Like I can't afford that, you know. So our lifestyle has like differences, right? So this is what I'm saying. A lot of people feel like they are worse, like they are worse off than the people who are more wealthier. Which is not true. Just it's an illusion of money, okay? And it's bad. So the thing is people, I feel like people are equal, like just like no matter who you are, like me and Tom, let's say me and Tom, we're like equal. We're just humans. We might have different lifestyle, but we can still be friends technically. I just don't know how to explain this. Like I'm gonna try my best because like obviously a lot of people have like okay, let's like me. Okay, my name is Austin from now. Austin and Tom. Okay, in this situation. So Austin feels inferior to Tom when they're together, when they're like, you know, hanging around like around one another. And it is only normal for Austin to feel like this, but Austin will kind of feel the need to prove themselves to, like Austin will feel the need to prove himself to Tom that he's not worst off, because he doesn't want to feel inferior, and he doesn't want Tom to feel like Tom has to take care of Austin when they're hanging out together. So there's always a need to prove that they are equals and not inferiors in terms of like whatever the fuck, like status, and then money in the bank, and you know, like all lifestyle basically. But what I'm trying to prove is I feel like, no, I don't want to prove, but what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to express is I feel like there's no need for this, because to be fair, friendships for me, okay, the illusion of money just makes it very like just clouded people's mind on like human relationships. Like I feel like this happens a lot. This actually occurs a lot in real life. Example, let's say like an old man with like a lot of money, and then marrying like this like young lady, just like let's say she's like a fucking model or something, and they just get married, okay. And then the model could feel very inferior to this old man. Like, you know, it feels like this old man, you know, like whatever, right? But that shouldn't happen. Like in theory, okay, in theory, listen, in theory, in theory, this model should like, you know, this model and this old man, old billionaire, they love one another. That's why they get married, and not because of the money. And she shouldn't feel inferior. But in real life, because the man has more money and more wealth and more status than this lady, this model, okay, and this, like, you know, this man will have, like, I quote, power, more power, quote, in control of like the relationships or like whatever they do, you know, like, because there's a different lifestyle, you know, there's like the differences, the gap is huge. So it's not gonna be as like equal as in theory that we discussed, because I feel like this is a very hardly resolved, like it's very hard to like not solve. It's not a problem, but like it's very hard to let people understand this, because this is the illusion of money that makes people feel bad, makes people feel the need, like they, okay, because I feel like the money just, like, a lot of people feel like money defines them, like how many money they have defines them, which is not true, because you have to look over that when you're looking for friendships, relationships, or working partners, because to be fair, if I'm in business, if if I'm like working, if I'm like starting up a business, I I will literally look past all this shit. Like, the wealth, the status, like the titles, none of that shit fucking matters. If I see a person and I see their work ethic, I would want to work with this person. And if I want to make a friend and I see the morals and I see the values that they hold, I would want to be friends with this person. Like, I don't give a fuck if they're rich or not. Like, we can work it out. Like, I have friends that are rich, like on a totally different level, that of rich, that where I came from. Like, they're like richer than I am, like dripping in fucking money. But it's like we can make it work. Like, making friends isn't about money all the time. Like, we don't have to go to like trips to Saint Tropez every fucking day. I mean, every fucking 2 months. Like all the rich kids does. But it's like when it comes to, like, I see this really, really correlates back to like relationships in life. And I'm not talking about romantic specifically, but obviously you can include that. Like, you can think that I include that in all the conversations that we just had. Not conversations, discussions, okay? Like, I just forget that you're not a person. Like, I mean, I love my camera. That's why I think, my camera is my best friend, by the way. So, like, anyways, like, I feel like it really does correlate back to like money, and like how you make friends are really like correlating, because a lot of people feel like if they're hanging out with the people with the same wealth and same status and same social level in the society, they're gonna have so much fun. They can like kind of, I quote, relate to one another. But I just feel like it's simply not true, because yes, a lot of time money does make, I mean, like the state of money and the status of wealth that your family has might help you make friends that are from similar background, but it doesn't mean that you guys go through things like similar, or like you hold the same. Actually, you know what, actually I take that back, because a lot of rich kids meet a lot of rich kids, and they have the same shitty ass moral and ethic values. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they could get shit on. Seriously, they could get fucking shit on. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, these people, they're so rich, they just ignore and bypass everything in life. Seriously. But I'm saying like yes, they could have like a lot of things to like relate on paper, but to be fair, they can't really find people that are like that understanding, because they're all the same, and it doesn't work out like this. Like, okay, so like, okay, like this. Okay, let's see this. Like, this is okay, this flat, this is like a human, okay? So when the personality is like this is the personality. Like, this is a rich kid's personality. So one rich kid, and I imagine my hand is here, like, freeze the frame, okay? And then there's another, like, they're not gonna fit. So if there's a poor kid that is like this, and then there's a rich kid that is like this, and they're gonna fit right in, and they're gonna get on so well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always like, yeah, if you surround yourself with like this, the mini you, you're gonna get on well, because it's just life. But I'm saying I feel like people shouldn't judge people based on like how much money do they have. Like, I feel like that is a very awful thing to do. I'm not saying that I've never done that. Yes, definitely I've always done that, actually. But it's really bad. I'm really working on trying to improve that, because I feel bad, like, for myself, that I see people like this, because it's fucking pathetic. And it's just like, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, if there's like a huge lifestyle gap, like personally, I'm not talking about all this theory that I've just talked about, but I'm saying personally, if I like, I don't know how to say this. This is so complicated. Like, I really couldn't speak from my like personal experience, because I don't know. First of all, I hate to admit this, but I do not have people that I chose to be friends with that are lower than the average income, I think. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like it's not intentional. Like, it's not intentional. It just really depends on the places that I go and the habits that I have. Like, I don't have, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's very odd for, like, people like me to meet somebody that are, you know, I don't know anybody who studies in public school, because I went to private school my whole life. I don't really meet people. I don't know how to meet people, especially in London. Like, everybody's just so fucking cold. You go to the clubs. Like, first of all, okay, listen. I'm Asian, so I have an Asian looking face. I'm not saying it's not attractive. I find it extremely attractive. Like, I am extremely attractive. And because we're in London and everybody's white, like, I go to the club, nobody comes to talk to me. Like, nobody. Literally zero person. I mean, I've met one girl. Other than her, I mean, I've met a girl named Tiffany. If, like, I mean, if one day you're lucky enough to listen to this podcast, you know who you are. But Tiffany, that's the only girl that I've ever met in the club. Other than that, I've never spoken to anybody in the club. Nobody. Literally nobody. Like, nobody ever walked up to me and talked to me. Or, like, I've never walked up to anybody to talk to them. Vice versa, you know? Like, I always complain. So, like, I always listen, like, okay, where was I? So, like, it's just so different, like, because of the lifestyle and, like, everything is just so different. It's very difficult to, like, for me to, like, integrate the whole, you know, illusions of money and the concept of money and the wealth status of, like, every different person to, like, how they make friends, you know? It's very difficult. But, here I go. Okay, those are, like, off. Like, today we are done discussing about money. And I'm going to talk to you about one thing that is very crucial for me because I find it very, very fucking funny. Like, I'm always sitting at home. And I'll just complain, like, just to anybody who are willing to listen. I'll be like, oh my god, you know what? Like, nobody's, like, willing to text me. Nobody's ever, like, wanting to call me and be like, hang out with me. Or, like, nobody's, like, actually, like, none of my friends, like, call me and you know, want to check up on me, or, like, you know, just do the sweetest, kindest, cutest things. Nobody does that. Also, I just realized this. I've never asked anybody to hang out. Like, you know, I used to do that, but, like, at one point I just stopped reaching out because I feel like I'm so fucking tired of it. And then I'm like, okay. Also, at the same time, like, I didn't realize this, that I don't ask people to hang out. Like, I don't, you know, actively reach out to people and check on how they are. Like, does this indicate that I don't give a fuck about them? Probably, you know, I'm very embarrassed to admit this, but I'm not gonna lie, it's true. Like, I really don't give a fuck about them. That's why I didn't, like, you know, even bother to send a text to, like, hey, how are you doing? You know, like, how are you? Like, it's just weird for me to do this. I mean, I call my parents from time to time, so, like, I'm doing well with my parents, but, like, I don't really check up on my friends. Like, I don't know them. I mean, not that I don't even know. Like, we can do a whole episode on, like, acquaintances and friends, like, how to differentiate them, you know, because it's a lot, and life has a lot of things to be talked about, and I really want to do, like, more episodes about this. Okay, to wrap this podcast episode up, I just want to thank the people who are actually listening. I don't feel like I want to do more promotion on this podcast. I mean, I feel like I would, like, you know, once in a very long while, I will, like, post on my post on my Instagram and be like, oh my god, hey guys, this is my fucking podcast. Go and listen to that one episode that I feel like listening. But, you know, that's just me. But, yeah, you know, basically, this is just fun. I mean, thank you for listening. I mean, you know, if you want to keep up with me personally, you know, I post a lot on Instagram, so you can go follow me on Instagram. I think it's in the description for this episode on YouTube, if you're watching it from YouTube, and it'll be on the Spotify one too. So the Instagram handle is @_JasonLai, JASONLAI _ and that's my Instagram handle. And then if you want to follow me on YouTube, it's like JasonLai01, because somebody took the fucking YouTube handle of Jason Lai, like, purely. And like, I'm not about to pay this dude like fucking, money just because he got my name on his shit. Wait till I'm famous. Just kidding. Not looking to be. But yeah. Yeah, if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can follow me on YouTube through, you can subscribe to this podcast and follow me on my vlog channel, Where I Vlog, and it's all personal shit. But also, what else do I have? I'm follow this podcast on Spotify. There's a video version on Spotify too. But I'm saying, like, Spotify, if you're listening, give me a 5-star. If you are on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment anything if you disagree with me, because I'm more than willing to have an open conversation about like anything I fucking talked about, because to be honest, I'm not always right. So this is what I think, but I'm not always right. Like, my thoughts are not always right. So I'm out here shining myself to the fucking internet, to the great internet, to see if I'm right or wrong, and to see how other people's opinion affect me and all that. So thank you for listening and watching. I love that for you, that you made it this far. And you'll hear my voice, see my face in the next episode, I guess. I don't know, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna talk about in the next episode? I mean, I'm so glad that I'm actually doing a fucking podcast. I feel like a podcast really do make me reflect on myself a little bit, just a little bit more. It's pretty fun. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Honestly, I'll see you in the next episode. Okay, bye. Bye. Well, also check out my everything on the internet. Like, if you Google my name on the internet, like, you can find me. Like, I'm trying so hard to promote my shit right now. Okay, love you guys. Okay, bye. This is for real.